The recent FIFA World Cup, hosted in the United States, wasn't just a celebration of the world's most popular sport, it also unexpectedly became a bridge that brought thousands of European visitors onto America's roads. For the first time, people accustomed to the rhythm of Europe's narrow, historic streets found themselves stepping into a world of endless highways and breathtaking multi-level interchanges.
One thing I wasn't expecting here in America is how smooth your roads are. I mean, look at this. Where's the cobblestone?
I love being in America. I love American cars. I love American roads. And we are having the best time of our lives.
But did the experience always live up to their expectations? Let's find out together. Be sure to hit the subscribe button before we take a drive down those endless American roads. Just imagine yourself driving a brand new Ram 1500, sitting high above the road with plenty of power under the hood, cruising along the Katy Freeway in Texas. For us, that's just an ordinary Tuesday. But for visitors from across the Atlantic, where roads usually wind through historic villages and are only a few yards wide, seeing a highway stretch to 26 lanes is probably the closest thing to time travel.
Yo, it's my first time driving in America, and let me tell you right now, these roads are humongous. It feels like cars are coming from everywhere. Which direction do you even look?
They don't just see a road, they see an amusement park for cars, a sprawling spaghetti junction of tangled interchanges that would probably take them an entire day just to find their way out of. We build massive highways not because we like showing off, but because we need the space. With approximately 0.84 vehicles per person, America is designed so you can climb into a Ford or a Chevy, sip a coffee from Dunkin', and drive wherever you want without ever checking a train schedule. Meanwhile, Europeans seem so focused on preserving centuries-old stone walls and narrow streets barely wide enough for a tiny Fiat. They choose multimodal transportation. We choose complete freedom behind the wheel. And let's talk about the idea of distance. When an American friend invites you to drive 3 hours just to have dinner, that's probably one of the most normal invitations you'll ever hear. We're used to driving hundreds of miles just to visit family or get away for the weekend. For a European, though, 3 hours in the car might be enough to cross 2 countries, experience several different cultures, and pass through countless national borders. To them, that's an epic journey. To us, it's just a relaxing afternoon drive home from work. Road trip culture in America isn't a choice. It's a legacy. We were born into the vastness of this continent, where every mile of open road carries the meaning of independence. But does that greatness come with a price? Sometimes, when you look at the expressions on those visitors' faces, you can see both admiration and a touch of skepticism. They're amazed by the scale of the engineering, yet slightly intimidated by the endless streams of traffic. Do you have any advice that would help foreign visitors get used to driving on American roads more quickly? Leave a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit subscribe to support the channel. The sheer size of an American gas station is enough to leave our European friends standing there with their mouths wide open. It's understandable. In Europe, it's rare to find a gas station covering thousands of square feet, let alone one where you can buy everything from a t-shirt and several pounds of beef jerky to an actual barbecue grill. To them, it's no longer just a place to refuel, it's a miniature cultural center, a symbol of the American lifestyle they had only seen on the big screen in Hollywood movies. When you're behind the wheel of a BMW, you probably think of it as just another daily commuter car. But for visitors from the old continent, where cars are often as small as toys, seeing an entire convoy of heavy-duty pickup trucks rolling down the interstate is a visual shock. They're amazed by the sheer presence of those machine steel giants that represent the strength and freedom found only on this land. Then there are the oversized big gulp soft drinks and the non-stop availability of 24/7 convenience store chains.
There are petrol stations in England not look like this. Look at this in the gas station. They've got everything. They've got Mountain Dew, Pepsi.
It seems we've become so accustomed to an economy that never sleeps, with places like In-N-Out and Waffle House always open whenever your stomach starts calling. Visitors seem fascinated by that. They call it convenience. To us, it's simply the way America works. Have you ever noticed the feeling of driving along a straight interstate highway, where the scenery changes from endless plains to towering hills without ever being interrupted by toll booths or national borders? It isn't just about getting from point A to point B. It's about experiencing freedom. While Europeans are still navigating crowded rail systems or the cramped streets of historic cities, we have the freedom to control our own time and space. A seat with built-in climate control, a crystal-clear infotainment screen, and the entire world at your fingertips through GPS navigation, isn't that the feeling everyone wants? Even though many people talk about carbon footprints or wastefulness, anyone who's actually taken a cross-country road trip knows it's an experience that simply can't be missed. Roadside rest stops, brands like 7-Eleven, and local specialties sold all along the way, have all become part of an American identity that visitors can't wait to capture and share on social media. If this seemingly small part of American life makes you proud too, hit subscribe and let us know. We often take pride in America's vast highway network, but let's face reality. Behind the glamour of trillion-dollar infrastructure projects, our roads often look like a patchwork quilt held together by rough repairs. Let's take a look at some areas where we can improve. Even though we've invested trillions of dollars in transportation over the past 3 decades, the percentage of roads rated in poor condition has barely changed, dropping by only 3% since 2018. It seems policymakers enjoy cutting ribbons for brand new highways more than rolling up their sleeves to repair the cracks left behind by the past. As a result, we keep building more, yet never truly finish what we've already started.
Well, this has got to be the biggest pothole in New York City. It's like one giant pot. Even the cops gotta slow down to get on that.
Have you ever wondered why Germany's roads with autobahns as smooth as glass can handle heavy truck traffic without needing major road repairs every year? They seem to take engineering more seriously, using 2-layer concrete construction with a strong structural base instead of the single-layer, get-it-done-fast approach that's common in the United States. As a result, while their infrastructure withstands temperature changes and the passage of time, our roads crack much more quickly, creating a lively driving experience that none of us really wants. But the cost of these patchwork repairs isn't limited to an uncomfortable ride. Let's do some simple math. Deteriorating roads quietly cost the average American household about $725 every year in tire replacements, suspension repairs, and extra fuel consumption. The total economic loss reaches approximately $167 billion annually. That's a hidden cost we're paying for inadequate infrastructure management. When you're driving your favorite pickup down the highway, a pothole suddenly appearing in front of you isn't just something that can damage your vehicle, it becomes a direct safety hazard at 70 miles per hour. What's even more surprising is the management deadlock. As electric vehicles become more common and fuel-efficient technology continues to improve, revenue from gasoline taxes, the primary source of funding for road maintenance, is gradually shrinking. States seem trapped in a cycle of delaying maintenance in favor of launching new projects, making future repairs dramatically more expensive. It's a budget gap that nobody wants to confront. Our European friends may be amazed by the sheer number of highway lanes when they visit, but the look on their faces when they see the road surface.
Look at that crater! I thought this was a road, not the Grand Canyon.
I reckon you could park a double-decker in there and still charge for overnight.
Back home we call this a sinkhole. Here it's just Tuesday.
Welcome to New Orleans.
Probably reflects a bit of skepticism as well. Perhaps a nation's true greatness isn't measured by how many miles of highway it has, but by the strength and durability of the pavement we drive on every single day. After all, a great road isn't just a wide road, it's a road you can drive on with confidence, without wondering whether your vehicle will survive the miles ahead. Do you agree that it's time to prioritize quality instead of simply competing over quantity? Let us know what you think in the comments below. You probably never imagined Boston, a city famous for its calm, refined atmosphere, being shaken by the sound of bagpipes played by more than 5,000 Scottish fans. Or Dallas, where enormous Croatian flags suddenly took over the public squares. transforming familiar everyday spaces into colorful soccer sanctuaries. This recent World Cup seemed to bring an unexpected breeze of change, turning streets that normally saw nothing more than Americans commuting to work or school into places that were louder, livelier, and more vibrant than ever before.
I haven't seen Boston party like this in a very long time, so having it be in Boston especially, a city with a lot of immigrants, a lot of passion.
This wasn't simply a story about sports, it was an overwhelming cultural exchange. Watching visitors from around the world proudly marching through American streets, you probably couldn't help but find something refreshing about seeing everyday American life turned upside down in such a positive way. The arrival of this wave of visitors delivered an economic boost that was impossible to ignore. Did you know that in Boston and Dallas, bars and restaurants seemed to reach the point of running out of supplies within just a few days? Reports from local business councils showed that revenue for hospitality businesses skyrocketed. From neighborhood pubs to major restaurant chains, everyone seemed busier than ever. Even transportation services, from traditional taxi companies to rideshare apps, were operating at full capacity to meet the travel demands of tens of thousands of fans moving from one match venue to another. What's even more surprising, and perhaps reassuring, is the attitude of the local hosts. Early concerns about disruption quickly faded as residents realized that, no matter where they came from, international fans brought an unexpected sense of friendliness with them. There was something remarkable about seeing residents in Lawrence, Kansas personally hanging flags to welcome the Algerian national team, an image that previously seemed like something you'd only see on television.
Residents in Lawrence, Kansas have welcomed the Algerian team to their city, where flags now adorn storefronts and cheers for the Greens, as they're known, echo through the streets. In Dallas, Team Croatia found everything is bigger in Texas, including an enormous flag unfurled for a welcome parade downtown. And Boston is the site of a Tartan Army takeover, playing host to Team Scotland, whose fans led a 5,000-strong bagpipe march and reportedly drained local bars dry in celebration.
I haven't seen Boston party like this in a very long time, so having it be in Boston especially, a city with a lot of immigrants, a lot of passion for the sport, it's great. It's great to see.
Asian people, we always have energy, whatever the circumstances.
To be a gay Friday is already a victory. We already won! Viva America!
As soon as that goal went in, I'm going to America.
I walked out of the newsroom, my office building, and seriously, like, you look around to your left, your right, kilts everywhere. There's people singing in the streets. The energy is great. The vibe is.
This event seemed to become a fascinating test of America's ability to host the world. And although transportation infrastructure and the hot, humid weather sometimes made us sigh, the festival atmosphere proved one thing: we still know how to put on a world-class show. Of course, the economic boom didn't benefit only large corporations. Family-owned businesses and small roadside shops that you might pass every day also experienced impressive increases in sales. This wave of visitors unexpectedly breathed new life into local communities, turning soccer matches into a genuine part of everyday American life. It served as a reminder that, even though we often complain about infrastructure challenges or the fast pace of American life, it's our openness and our ability to embrace new experiences that make America a place people from all over the world want to visit. After everything, don't you think these fascinating moments of cultural takeover actually make everyday life a little less ordinary? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let's play a little role-playing game. Imagine you were born and raised in Europe, where you're used to the convenience of transit systems like those in Paris or London. Suddenly, you find yourself in the intense heat and humidity of the American South. You arrived expecting a technological superpower, only to find yourself stuck in miles of traffic. The freedom of being behind the wheel suddenly feels less like freedom and more like being trapped on endless stretches of patched-up pavement. Not exactly comfortable, is it? That gap between expectation and reality may be the most interesting part of the experience. Visitors seem shocked to discover that, without a car, you're almost disabled when it comes to getting around many American cities. There are no highly connected subway systems, no buses arriving with the second-by-second precision they're used to back home. Everything depends on rideshare apps, while their wallets steadily get lighter from paying for expensive rides. It seems we're paying a pretty high price for the car dependency we've spent decades building. And on top of that, the summer heat becomes another formidable opponent. Just imagine sitting in your car during a standstill traffic jam in Atlanta. The heat alone would probably leave even the most optimistic person exhausted. As these real-life experiences are shared across social media, they unintentionally create a kind of reverse media narrative, one where America is no longer portrayed as a perfect model, but as a genuine test of endurance. There's a certain irony in watching one of the world's leading technology superpowers still relying on public transportation systems that sometimes seem stuck in the last century. Visitors' disappointment may actually be a necessary wake-up call, or more accurately, a mirror reflecting the very problems that Americans themselves deal with every day. Still, perhaps America has never claimed to be perfect. Visitors seeing these imperfections, from potholes to gaps in urban transportation, is probably an essential part of experiencing the country as it really is. It helps the world understand that behind the polished image, this nation is still a work in progress, filled with challenges yet to be solved. Then again, if America's roads were truly as flawless and convenient as some people imagine, maybe they wouldn't have that same rugged, free-spirited character that makes them uniquely American. What truly defines the so-called American spirit? Is it the towering skylines, the massive pickup trucks, or the endless web of interstate highways stretching from one coast to the other? Watching thousands of European visitors arrive during the World Cup, marvel at enormous multi-level interchanges, and then shake their heads at a few cracks in the pavement, you begin to realize something important. America isn't just building roads. It's building a symbol of ambition, freedom, and the belief that almost anything can be connected if you're willing to build big enough. These highways, sprawling interstate networks, and enormous travel centers like Buc-ee's aren't simply pieces of infrastructure. In many ways, they're reflections of our national character. They tell the story of a country that has always preferred to think on a continental scale. While much of the world learned to build around existing cities, America often built first and allowed cities, industries, and entire communities to grow around the roads themselves. That philosophy shaped the 20th century. We believed that if you built the road, opportunity would follow. Highways crossed deserts, mountains, forests, and farmland, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific in ways previous generations could hardly imagine. Millions of families packed up station wagons, RVs, and pickup trucks, discovering a country so large that every road trip felt like a new adventure. Mobility wasn't simply transportation, it became part of the American identity. Of course, every great achievement comes with its own challenges. The same infrastructure that symbolizes freedom also requires enormous investment to maintain. Endless miles of pavement eventually crack. Bridges age. Traffic increases. Cities expand faster than planners expected. And as our dependence on personal vehicles has grown over the decades, so have the questions about sustainability, maintenance costs, and the future of transportation itself. Yet when international visitors experience America firsthand, many discover that these highways are about far more than concrete and asphalt. Driving across state lines, watching the landscape transform from open prairie to mountain ranges, stopping at a Waffle House after midnight, filling up at a Buc-ee's that feels more like a shopping mall than a gas station, or grabbing an oversized drink at a 7-Eleven, these aren't just travel stops. They become chapters in a uniquely American story. For many Europeans, accustomed to shorter distances, dense cities, and public transit, the scale itself becomes part of the adventure. A 3-hour drive that Americans casually describe as not too bad can feel like crossing multiple countries back home. The endless horizon, the freedom to change destinations on a whim, and the realization that there are still hundreds of miles left to explore create a feeling that's difficult to replicate anywhere else. Ironically, some of the imperfections make the experience feel even more authentic. The occasional traffic jam in Atlanta, a rough stretch of highway, an unexpected construction zone, or the relentless summer heat remind visitors that America isn't a carefully polished theme park. It's a living, working country that's constantly expanding, repairing, adapting, and reinventing itself. If every road were perfectly smooth and every journey perfectly predictable, perhaps some of the character would disappear along with the imperfections. Visitors may criticize the condition of certain roads or question America's limited public transportation, and many of those criticisms are fair. But even those same travelers often admit there's something undeniably liberating about getting behind the wheel, merging onto an open interstate, and realizing that no timetable, train platform, or border crossing determines where they can go next. For a brief moment, time belongs entirely to them. That sense of freedom is difficult to quantify, but it's impossible to ignore. It's found in the open landscapes, the oversized rest stops, the countless roadside diners, and the feeling that another adventure is always waiting just beyond the next exit. It's a kind of emotional connection that few places in the world can offer in quite the same way. Perhaps that's why America's road culture continues to fascinate millions of people around the world. It's not because everything works perfectly. It doesn't. It's because the roads represent possibility. Every exit leads somewhere different. Every highway invites exploration. Every long drive carries the promise that something unexpected might be waiting just over the horizon. In the end, the fact that thousands of visitors continue coming here dreaming of renting a car, setting off on an interstate, and experiencing these wonderfully contradictory roads for themselves speaks louder than any travel brochure ever could. America isn't simply a place you visit, check off your bucket list, and leave behind. It's a country that asks you to participate in it. The pavement may crack. Traffic may test your patience. Infrastructure may still have room for improvement. But these roads continue telling one of America's oldest stories. That freedom often begins the moment you decide to choose your own direction. And maybe that's the real American experience. Every time you settle into the driver's seat, look out over an open highway, and realize that hundreds of miles lie ahead with nothing but possibilities, you become part of that story yourself. A story built not only on roads, but on ambition, independence, and the enduring belief that the journey matters just as much as the destination. From the awe inspired by America's massive multi-lane highways to the disappointed headshakes caused by cracked pavement, potholes, and limited public transportation, all of it paints the picture of a country that's both incredibly ambitious and still burdened by systemic problems that deserve serious attention. What about you? After everything you've seen and experienced, what do you think America should prioritize most to make these roads truly great in a safer and more sustainable way? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed these perspectives and want to keep exploring the hidden sides of American infrastructure and everyday life with us, don't forget to like, share this video, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss our upcoming in-depth analyses. This video is based on the personal stories, experiences, and opinions shared by the individuals featured, along with the channel's own commentary and analysis. Our goal is to offer multiple perspectives and encourage thoughtful discussion. The experiences presented here should not be taken as representative of the entire United States or of all Europeans. Every country has its own strengths and challenges, and every person's experience is shaped by their unique circumstances, location, and perspective. The main message of this video is simple. Stay open-minded, seek information from a variety of sources, and, whenever possible, experience things for yourself before forming conclusions. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.